So this is lesson 5.6c, and hopefully we can do this in one video here. We're talking about Cramer's rule, C-R-A-M-E-R-S, and college algebra, page 492. I'm not going to go through the how to develop Cramer's rule, but one of the things that Cramer's rule does, which is awesome, is it lets you solve systems of linear equations using determinants. Alright, so rather than go through the whole theory behind it, I'm just going to look at how to do this. If we're looking for the x variable in a systems of equations, like let's do 2x plus 7y equals, I got the wrong one here, from the example 5, plus 5y equals 7, 5x minus 2y equals negative 3. Okay, so let's say that I want to solve the systems of equations for this particular problem. Alright, so my x value is going to equal the determinant of x over d. My y value is going to be d of y over d. Alright, so now what I have to do is explain to you three different pieces of information here. D of subscript x, d, and d subscript y. Alright, so this is what we have here. D is found by taking the determinant of A1, B1, A2, B2. That's what that equals. And if you remember, as far as finding the determinant of a 2 by 2, it's this times this minus this times this. And that will give you your D, and that's the number that will go here and here. Okay, so D with the x there is going to be C1, C2, B1, P2, the determinant of that. Okay, and I'll show you a way to remember this in just a minute. dy then equals A1, A2, C1, C2. Okay, so if this is A, this is B, and this is the C column, look at what happens here. When I'm interested in finding D, I just look at the 2, the 5, and the negative 2, these four numbers here, and take the minors. To find dx, because I'm looking for an x, I'm going to substitute my C column here for my x's, and then my b is going to stay there. So my b is the second column, and instead of, since I'm looking for this one, I'm going to stick these two over in this position right there. Okay, now when I'm looking for y, I'm going to replace my b column with c. So my b column is now c, and my a is that way. Okay, so let's go ahead and do this. Move some stuff up a little bit. Let's see if we can do this and still be able to see what I've got here. Okay, so there's my system, and here are the three pieces of information I need. Alright, so in order to find x, x says that I have, let me write it again, dx over d. So I'm going to write this, dx would be 7 negative 3, because I'm taking it from this one right here. So it's saying my column C is 7 over negative 3. Then I'm going to use column B. And in this case, column B is 5, negative 2. So there's my minor. And that's going to be over D, which is 2, 5, 5, negative 2. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take the minor of each, and when I take the minor, I'm going to have 7 times negative 2 is negative 14 minus 5 times negative 3 is negative 15. So negative 14 plus 15, because I had two negatives, is going to give me a 1 as my minor. On the bottom, I'm going to take 2 times negative 2 and get negative 4 minus 25. Negative 4 minus 25 gives me a negative 29. So the answer to this one, my x value for that system of equations, is negative 1 over 29. Now let's do the y. I'm going to go ahead and erase this here. As much as I can anyway. Okay, so my y is going to equal dy over d. Okay, now remember we already found d when we were finding the x. Okay, because remember the formula up here is d of x over d, d of y over d. So we have d. We found that in the last one, and our d in the last one was 29. So we don't even have to find it for this one. We know this is 29. So let's put that on there. So all we have to do is find d of y. So the d of y is going to be this time my 2 and my 5. And that's dy, because that's my A column. And then my next column is going to be 5, negative, whoops, I'm sorry, I got that wrong. Okay, 2, 5, 7, negative 3. So we have my C column. Okay, so I put those right there, and that's over 29. We already figured that out. So that's going to be 29, and if I do my minors, I'm going to go 2 times negative 3 is negative 6 minus 35, so I'm going to get negative 41. Oh, and that 29 was negative, wasn't it? Okay, which gives me as an answer as 41 over 29. So my answer for x was negative 1 over 29. My answer for y is positive 41 over 29. So that's how you use Kramer's rule to find system of equations. When, in this particular lesson, all we did was look at a 2 by 2 system. We didn't do a 3 by 3 or 4 by 4. We just did a 2 by 2 system using Kramer's rule in order to find out what the solution set is. So that is it for lesson 5.6.